Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? No, I think so. Somebody let me know that you can hear me okay, that I'm live. It shows that I'm live. It's Thursday. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Hi, can you hear me? I'm just wanting to make sure that I did all the things right that I was supposed to do. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Welcome, Teresa. I'm glad that you're here. Hi, Gail. Simply Jan's Homestead. Let me see who else. The Hillbilly Chicken Ranch with Susan, Garden State Gardener. Welcome, everybody, to the channel. So, hi, Nanny Tam. Hi, Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. So, today, what I'm going to do is we're going to make an apron. And I thought I would do it using an apron that I already have and using that for my pattern in case someone isn't able to get a pattern or doesn't know how to use a pattern. And it's a good way, it's like a skill, I think, that everybody can use by using existing pieces of clothing and items to use to make something new. So, that's my whole idea on it. So, welcome everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Yeah. And if you guys want to go ahead and share out any collaborations or your channels in the chat. I don't know if I have a moderator. I might not have a moderator that's in chat right now. I'm not sure. I'm new at this. But anyways, if you want to go ahead and share that information, you can go ahead. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around and we'll go ahead and get started on making the apron. Ooh, making 2 loaves of sourdough bread. That sounds amazing. Nice. Yummy. I bet it smells good. Okay, let me get you turned around. See if I can get you guys angled right so you can see what I'm doing. All right, there you go. Everybody see? Okay, so I'm using an apron that I folded in half. I like this apron style. I've got it inside out because I'm kind of blocking who it's made by. Anyways, I like it because it's got this whole 1 string piece that runs through the armpits of the apron where you can adjust it for how high you want it up on your neck, like the front part that goes up by your neck. And I like it that way because it's adjustable for different people. So I'm going to go with that. You can go with any apron you want. And what you'll do is you'll fold it in half with the seam right here and make it nice and flat. And then whatever fabric that you choose to use, you're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go with this fabric right here. And I'm going to open it up. And I'm just making sure that you guys can see. I'm going to move my apron for a minute. And you're going to get it laid out and you're going to make sure that it's all flat. And this is a thicker fabric. It's not too thick, but when you make an apron, you might want to use a thicker fabric. This is my folded end right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my folded apron. This is my folded part right here. Right? I'm going to line it up on that edge that's folded right here, okay? And what you want to do is you want to leave an allowance to stitch a seam at the tops and at all the sides. So you want to leave a little extra fabric when you cut it out. So you're going to line it up perfectly along that edge, and you can use different pins, safety pins, whatever you want to use. I got these little clips from the dollar store. You can use these as well to clip it on so that it doesn't move while you're cutting it out, which makes it a lot easier. So you want to get everything laid out flat. Make sure your bottom pieces are flat as well. And so with this apron, I'm going to make a ruffle on the bottom. You don't have to. So I'm probably going to end up cutting it a little bit shorter in length, like about this much. Can you see that? Yeah. So that way I can add the ruffle without it being too long. And you can go ahead and use a measure and measure how long you want your apron to go on your body, and minus off if you're adding a ruffle. Minus off however many inches in length, because the ruffle is going to add some more inches. And you just want to make sure that everything is nice and straight. All your pieces are nice and flat and straight. And you can use as many push pins or clips as you want to keep it nice and sturdy along that folded edge. Okay. And I'm going to fold these in here. You're going to want to use a pair of fabric scissors that you only use with your fabric. Welcome in, anybody. If anybody's coming in, the remaining remnant, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. So now all we're going to do is we're just going to cut it out, and you're going to want to leave, remember I told you the seam, you're going to want to leave that extra to make a seam all along your whole outside of your apron. Okay, so let's get started cutting it. And you can measure, you can draw lines. You can get one of these at like any kind of store, like Wally World has them and stuff like that. It just has measurements on it to help make cutting your lines and whatnot more even. And you can draw lines. They have little chalks that you can use, that you can draw on your fabric to mark it out. You can use, I sometimes use just a pen to mark out my lines, because I know that I'm going to stitch it and the pin mark won't show. Okay. But this fabric is nice because it has lines. And a thing to consider when you're using striped patterns is if you go, how do I explain this? You can go whatever way you want. You can go across your body like this way, or you can go up and down. If you do stripes going lengthwise, going across your body, it can make the piece look wider than it really is. So this is going to be lengthwise, which might make me look longer, which I don't need, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to follow the guide of the apron that I have laying out here. The best that you can do. Again, like I said, you can measure it out. You can, you know, do it all like that if you're somebody who needs to do that, and that's perfectly fine. And this is an extra piece. I'm just going to set it aside for now. And so there you have it. I have it cut out, and I will show you. Set my old apron aside, and there you have it. There's my apron. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch together all the edges. We're going to fold them over, and we're going to do a stitch so that way they don't come unraveled. And then later we'll add some pockets. So I have it all cut out and ready to start sewing. So let's get to it. I'm going to turn you, hold on. My camera crew is off duty today. Okay, so let me get my sewing machine plugged in. I think I have you guys at a decent angle that you can see the stitching part. All right, I hope everybody's having a good day. All right, so I have my apron. You're going to want to start at the same place as you want. I'm going to start at the top of it, and I'm just going to do a simple stitch on this. And again, you can use push pins and pin it down so that you have the same exact width that you're stitching, so it doesn't get all or whatever if you choose to do that. And it might be a good idea just so that you know that you're doing it right. So I'm stitching my hem. This is what this is called, is my hem in the inside of this apron. So when you first sew, you go forward, and then you want to go backwards to lock the stitch into place so it doesn't come unraveled. And go as slow or as fast as you need to go. And then you just keep stopping as much as you need to stop to readjust your hem. And then you back stitch at the very end of your sewing. I need to grab my scissors. Got them way over there. All right. And then I cut my strings. Don't cut them too close to your fabric, so you don't want to snag that. And where you started sewing, there will be some thread. You'll want to cut those off so they don't get tangled up in your sewing machine. And there you have it. You have the first top hem going, and you're just going to go along the whole entire thing. When you get to the part that goes under your arm right here, you're just going to go slowly and follow the shape of the pattern. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Thank you guys all for being here. Yeah, sew at your own risk. You got to be careful. I mean, you can stitch this by hand. It'll take a little bit longer, and maybe that's something you might enjoy doing. It might be relaxing. So you just want to make sure that you keep your seams about the same thickness, width. Come on. I got it all tangled up right here, which is okay. So you just lift your needle, and I didn't get it tangled up. I just wasn't doing it right. A lot of times when a sewing machine isn't working, if you take this top plate off and slide it off, and you take a Q-tip, a lot of thread, like little fibers and things like that, build up down in there. If you take a Q-tip and swab it out, a lot of times that'll help out. So that's one thing that you can look at. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on sewing or sewing machines. I just kind of do what I do. Okay, make sure you back stitch when you first begin. And when you're going around the arm, be very cautious of following the shape of your cutout. I do have a video coming out. Is it tomorrow? I have to look. One coming out pretty soon. I made a patchwork skirt, a patriotic patchwork skirt, where I used some old jeans for the top of the skirt. And then all the fabrics that I used were thrifted. And so with all the fabrics that I used for that skirt, I think I spent less than $10. So that video will be coming out. So you guys can maybe get inspired to try something different if you're a sewer or a crafter. Learning how to sew a little bit doesn't hurt. So you just got to kind of move and adjust your fabric and make sure that you're lined up with your sewing needle as you go. I don't know if this is helpful for anybody. And then back stitch at the end. Cut your strings, go back to where you first started sewing and get those, I keep calling them strings, threads, take them off so they don't get tangled up. So now I have the part that goes up by your neck and then one side of the arm going. You can just go all the way around if you want. At the very bottom, I'm not going to stitch the bottom because I am going to add a ruffle. And I'm going to add pockets and some things on here as well. Canned air can cause your machine to rust. Don't use canned air. Oh, that's a good tip. Yeah, I just use cotton swab. Actually, I have a second sewing machine that I picked up from somebody that was someone who buys storage units, and they auction off or sell different things out of the storage lockers. And there was a sewing machine, and it was a pretty good quality older sewing machine. And I had my friend she said, get it. And I bought it for $10. And all she had to do is clean it up, and it works fine. So look for deals like that. There's a lot of videos online too that can help you with threading and working out problems and stuff like that. I know that in my area, a lot of sewing machine businesses aren't around as much. And then I haven't had any actual formal training on sewing, so I kind of just wing it. I do use patterns sometimes. Sometimes I get these creative ideas and just kind of go with it. I don't know. Back stitch at the end. Make sure your needle's in the up position. And then go back to the beginning where you first started stitching and get those threads trimmed. I don't know if, I'm not used to doing things like this. Hi, Gwen. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so I've gotten down one side, the arm area, the neckline. Now I'm going to go down the other side of the neck area. We'll get to the fun stuff pretty soon, I promise. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Like the thicker material you get, this fabric that I'm using right now, I got at, I don't know, some craft store, but it was on clearance, and it was like, what was it, $1.50 a yard? So that was pretty good. I'm all about getting things on sale. So, and sometimes, like I said, with the skirt that I made, doing, oh no, I'm running around like a mad cow here. Oh no, hope it gets better for you today, Anne. Make sure you backstitch. But yeah, so just, you can make blankets and all kinds of things with whatever. You can even take sheets and quilts and blankets that are falling apart, or maybe not your style, but you could use the fabric for, creating something else. What kind of things have you guys sewn, or do you want to sew? back stitch at the end. I know this seems like a you quilt. That's wonderful. Yeah, I thought it would be really fun to do quilt share exchange where everybody has like certain measurements of a quilt, or I mean a square, and so you like sew your own design on your square and then you send it to a friend, and then everybody has like so many squares from different friends of their take on their square. So like if I made one, I could put like maybe some honeybees on it, or you know, something my take on my square, but all the squares would be the same size. And then once you collect so many, then you can put them together and have like this amazing quilt from all your friends, like a piece of them's on it. I thought that was kind of cool. So with this pattern, I have a couple of options, and maybe I'll let you guys choose which one to do for the pockets and the ruffle at the bottom, and I'll show you in just a second. So now on the bottom hem, the bottom of my apron, I am not going, excuse me, sorry, I'm not going to be putting a hem on that because, like I said, I'm adding a ruffle. But if you don't want to put a ruffle, then you'll want to hem the very bottom of your apron. And so, voila, see? I don't know, you guys can't see. So I've got my hem all the way around. I'll still need to hem the armpit areas over probably about another 1/2 inch to put my string in that ties it all together to hold it onto. But right now I'm going to show you the options of fabric that we can use for the pockets and the ruffle. So let me get you turned around. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay. So what I kind of chose, but we can play around, okay? So I've got this, you can be anything, be kind, create your own with some sunflowers and whatnot. I've got that one where we could do a pocket up at the top. And then we can do a couple of pockets down lower. And then do the ruffle in this. So that's an idea. And then what else do I got? I've got a whole lot of stuff. We could do this cute farm animals as pockets. And then maybe like, let's see. We could use this as the ruffle because it's got like all the colors that match the pocket incorporated. It's just kind of a fun, colorful fabric. What do you guys think? Is that too many options? I was just kind of thinking, I don't know, because like the sunflowers don't really go with the chicken. Like these two would go together, like as a pocket and then as the trim on the bottom. What else do we got here? We could totally go with bigger chickens for the pockets and the ruffle. Nanny Tam says farm animals. Yeah? Should we do just the chickens or should we do all the farm animals? So put a 1 in if you like all the farm animals as the pockets. and put a 2 if you like the chicken sunflower one. Both. Well, I can make more. I've actually got a polka dotted fabric like this I'm going to make some aprons on. The third option, which would be all the chickens. Number 2, 1 and 2. I like the chicken better than the farm animals. Okay, let's go with the chickens. Let's do it. I think what I'll do, because I have more of this chicken fabric, I'll make the ruffle. Oh, wait, hold on. See how there's chicken wire in there? I've got, I don't know if, well, there's black in the pockets. That might work. Look, what do you guys think is the ruffle? It's chicken wire. What do you think? With the chickens as the pockets and do this as the ruffle down on the bottom. And it does kind of tie in because it matches some of the chickens. What do you think? So we could either go chicken pockets, chicken ruffle, or chicken pockets. What do you guys think? So number 1, okay, I'll make this easier. I know you're getting confused. So put 1 if you want this for the pockets and the ruffle, and put 2 if you want this for the pockets and this for the ruffle. Hi, Mona, welcome. Chicken for both. Okay, we'll do chicken for both. Let's do it. So for your pocket, you can do it any size that you want to do it. You know, you can go big pockets, or got some lint on here. The top pocket, I'm going to make it different shaped, obviously, than the other pockets. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get your, if you have a pattern that's a certain way, you want to make sure that you line it up right so that it's not upside down. So let's see how wide this is. So this is about, at the narrowest part, I think is what I'm going to measure here at, about 11 inches. I think what I'll do is I'll go 8. Eight by 6, because you got to leave a little bit extra for making the seams of the pocket as well. And the top of my pocket, I'm going to do a thicker seam, like a doubled up seam, to make the top of it when you're reaching in a little bit more stiffer, more secure. Here's my scissors. And then by 5. Did you guys hear that? That was my computer dinging. Updates. Or whatever. No barking. Of course, right? They like to bark when you're doing things. Okay. All right, so there's that. And then for my pockets, I'm going to fold my fabric in half so that I don't have to cut them out, and so that they'll be identical in size. And we can look at the apron that I have. If you're using an apron, you can look at what the pocket on that apron, how it is. So it's one big long apron, or pocket, sorry. So, and then they stitched it down the middle, which I really like that idea. It makes it easier than trying to line everything 2 pockets up. So, get my fabric folded here. I don't know. I mean, you can do your pockets any size that you want. You can do separate pockets too if you wanted. All right, let's see. All right, that's about the right size. And then I'm going to measure and see how long this is, and then leave a little bit extra to be folded under for the seam. Oops, sorry. So we've got about 7.5 inches. Oops. And then move that out of the way. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to use this to draw my line. And I'll line it up. Make sure your fabrics are matching and smoothed out. And grab, I'm just going to use a ballpoint pen. You can buy special chalk because you're not going to see this pen line, because I cannot cut a straight line worth anything. Even if I have drawn a line, I still can't. All right. Get this cut out. So I doubled it up just so that way when I lay it out, it'll kind of be like that. But we'll fold the corners in, we'll do 2 thick stitches down the center of it to hold it into place. And I'm going to, for the pockets, I'm going to stitch it over a thin hem, and then I'm going to fold it over again just so that you have more strength in the top part of your pockets where you put your hand in. So let's get this part sewed up, and then we'll work on the bottom hem, the ruffle. Whee! Sorry if I made you guys dizzy. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. So I'm going to start with the top pocket. Make sure that you have your pattern facing the way that you intend it to go. That's sometimes an issue when you're sewing and you get things upside down or whatnot. So I'm going to do a thin little seam here, and then I'm going to fold it over again and sew it again, because then that way it'll strengthen it. Okay, so make sure you back stitch when you first start stitching. When you get to the end, back stitch again. Make sure your needle's up. And I keep moving my scissors. I'm glad that you guys helped me pick out this fabric, because I was like, oh, I don't know. This looks okay. Like, there's so many choices, right? So it's fun having all you guys in here to be able to help me do that. So I'm just going to fold where I made the hemline. I'm going to just fold it right back over onto itself again. And you can do different types of sewing, like zigzag and whatnot, and make different fun designs. You can choose different colors of thread that will pop more and whatnot if you want. Make it fun and detailed. as much as you want to. You know, it's your project. You can be as creative as you want. So this sewing machine that I have is called a Brother, and the lady who I bought it from, it was only like 25 bucks. She couldn't find there's an extra plate or something that goes to it. I don't know. I've never had a new sewing machine. Maybe someday. So I have some older videos that where I made a vintage skirt. Hi, Gail from Broken Hearts Ministry. I did a like a little house on a prairie type skirt with a pattern and apron. So there you have the pocket. So now you can use your safety pins to pin this into place if you would like, or you can just be, you don't want to get your pocket too close up onto the neck. And really this pocket, this top pocket's more for design and look, I think. I mean, you could maybe put your phone in there, or you could put your camera in there, right? No, that's okay. What were you doing? I was giving out some items to, I missed it. Oh, that's so kind. But with this fabric that I have here that has the lines on it, it's really easy to line things up for my guides so that I get things hopefully straight. Oh, that's the plan anyways, right? And I always try to put my scissors in the same place, but because I'm getting up and down and moving across the table, I keep moving my scissors. So you're just going to fold the edges in and make a seam, attaching it to your apron. Put your foot down. I always hold my strings when I first start sewing so that they don't come out. I don't know why. Maybe I'm supposed to, maybe I'm not, but and so I'm using a thicker sewing needle on my sewing machine. I use the heavy duty for like jeans and upholstery and stuff like that because I do random different thicknesses. So when you get towards the bottom of your pocket, you're going to want to stop because that's where you're going to want to fold the bottom in for your bottom seam. So I'm going to put my needle down into the fabric to hold it into place. And I'm going to fold that under. I'm going to lift my foot because I've got the needle down holding it, holding the fabric slightly. The corner part is the hardest part to sew because it's the thickest part. So you go slow over the corners. And you might want to back stitch on the corners and the bottom, sewing it a little bit more because the pressure or the weight of items in your pocket might, unravel it. So I'm just going back and forth a couple of times. My needle's in, so I can now turn my fabric and my pocket, making sure it's straight, folding the edge under. Like I said, you can pin it as well. I'm a rebel sewer. There we go. Don't forget to put your foot down. Stop a little bit before the edge because again, we're gonna fold the seam down. I have my needle in the fabric so I can lift my foot and turn my fabric. You might have to turn your fabric all in a whole circle. It happens. Okay, and then we're going to fold that. This is the hard part to me, is folding this corner piece in, which I could end right here. In fact, let me do that so you guys don't have to see me struggle. I'd get it, but you know, I'll make it easier for everybody. You don't have to do like me. Don't do it like I did. Okay. Yeah, don't be like me, making things more complicated. Okay, so you're going to fold that last seam down. Remember, you're not stitching the top of your pocket to the apron piece itself, because then you won't be able to get your hand in there. Okay, and of course, folding that under. And I've got the lines on the fabric, which makes it so helpful. Put my foot down. I'm going to back stitch a few times on this corner. Just to help lock it in and hopefully keep it sturdy. I've got it folded down, so I've got a seam, and I'm trying to keep it nice and lined up. And then when you get up to the top corner where you put your hands in the pocket, you're going to want to back stitch several times on the top corner right here to keep it locked in. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think that makes sense. All right, make sure your needle's up, and let's see what I did. Did I do it? This is actually pretty cute. I like this fabric. I should have got more because I know I'm going to like it a lot. That's okay. Cut your threads off close, but not too close, because you don't want to snip any threads that you have sewn already. So there's the top. What do you guys think? There's the top pocket. Hi, 49 more. How are you? Okay, so now we're going to sew on the double pockets down on the waistline. But first, we're going to fold over and make a seam up on the top. How long has this been going? I have no idea. But I can't leave you guys hanging, so I'm going to stay here until it's done. We're getting close. So I'm hemming the top part of the double pocket to give it strength, and so it won't unravel. And again, you can pin this to make it even, or clip it if you've got some clips. I showed you guys the clips earlier that I got from the Dollar Tree store, and they're pretty strong. They work pretty good. When you get to the end, back stitch, make sure your needle's up. I hope this inspires you guys to make something. Does it? Like looking at this, does it make you guys want to create something? So I just folded that over and stitched it, and because it's the top of the pocket, I'm going to fold it over again onto itself. Like I said, again, just to give it strength, because that's, you know, where your hands are going in and out. All right. Make sure you back stitch. Has anybody on here ever made an apron before? or bought an apron because you thought it was cute? I'm not hinting at anything. I'm just saying I've seen some at like Walmart that are cute, but then I look at the price and I'm like, yeah, I think I could maybe make that. you know? Okay, so the top of the pocket got double sewn. And then I'm going to use some pins because this is a larger pocket. I'm going to pin it to the actual apron because it's bigger and it'll be a little bit more difficult to. I'm going to move you guys around. There you are. So yeah, I'm going to pin this top pocket on. And I'm going to try to get it centered from left to right as best as I can. I mean, you can measure if you want to measure. Make sure everything's nice and flat. And I'm going to pin the top of it first. You'll want to remove the pins as you're sewing so it doesn't break your needle on your sewing machine. Okay, and then we're doing a hem all the way around the edges. So you'll want to fold that over. And again, this is really nice having these stripes to help line things up, you know. Hi, Bella. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone's having a good day. Does anybody have any plans for this weekend? Any family gatherings and things like that? We're gonna have my kids over for dinner and my mom. I think we might be having another family that my husband works with if they don't have plans already over. What do you guys, if you guys are cooking at home or going somewhere, what kind of, what are you guys making or going to be eating? Okay, so I've got those pinned. Now I'm going to pin the bottom. I know this is a long sewing thing, but I appreciate you guys being here. And I think it looks really cute. I like the whole, the colors added. Like it's not, like if you did an apron with just these, with just the chicken fabric, I think that would be too much. So my intentions when I bought it was using it for like pockets and ruffles and things like that because it's kind of busy for me anyways. I mean, some people might want that for something that they're making. Church and cooking, Easter supper, ham was voted out, and I want lasagna. Oh yeah, have lasagna. Do it. Why not? So I'm gonna, because we raise our own beef cows, and I don't know, I feel weird about saying this online, but we're gonna have prime rib only because we raise our own cows. Okay, so I'm coming over to the sewing machine. We're gonna stitch this pocket on, and then the next thing will be the ruffle, and then here you guys go. Woo! Who knew you were gonna go on a spinning tour. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make mashed potatoes, prime rib, mashed potatoes, a salad with all kinds of things in it, deviled eggs. Um, I'm gonna make some potato salad with bacon in it. And then I'm trying to figure out what I want to make for a dessert. I don't know. I wasn't gonna do anything. And then like all the kids and stuff wanted to do something. So I got a sewing needle right here that I gotta move so I don't get it in there. And I'm gonna back stitch and stitch over this top corner where you put your hands in a few times just to give it a little more strength because I don't want it to get wore out, right? Okay. Did I get it in there? Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay. So now I get to go all the way down to the bottom of it. Make sure that you take your push pins out, which that one got too close. I have to lift my foot up. Take them out before your sewing needle gets to it, or you might have a problem. Make sure your fabric's all straight. Get my hand under here so I can hold that. Here we go. Down to the bottom. We're getting there. And then on this bottom corner, I'm going to back stitch it a few times as well. I don't know. I just think that securing the corners of all your pockets is probably a good idea. And then my sewing needle is down, so I can turn now my fabric. Make sure you don't have any fabric folded up underneath so you don't get it stitched in the place you don't want it to be. And again, I'm going to go back and get my corner really tied down there. Take your sewing needle out as you go along. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you. This is great. It's my second live, and I don't know if doing a project like this is a good idea for a live or not. I don't know. Hopefully it'll inspire you guys to try something that you haven't done or get something back out, or I don't know. Even if it has nothing to do with sewing. Okay, we're getting towards the corner. And my sewing needle's down so I can turn. Make sure you have no extra fabric underneath that you don't want attached in the wrong areas. Okay, good. Thank you. You like gluing and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, everybody has like their thing that they like to do that's, I don't know. I just do whatever I feel at the time. Okay, we're almost to the tip, the finish of the pocket. And I went over that several times so that I could get it all. Okay, so now I'm going to trim my threads down to the pocket. I've got the pocket all sewn on now, and I'll show you guys. but we're going to do a couple, I think, zigzag stitching down the center of the pocket so that it'll look cute. So I'm going to switch to a zigzag on my sewing machine. Make sure my threads, both my threads, my bobbin thread and my top thread are out here. And I'm gonna, if you don't stitch down the center of your pocket, so, there's my top pocket, and there's my bottom pocket. I have pins in the top. If you don't stitch down the complete center of that big pocket, that's okay, because sometimes you want a smaller pocket. It's up to you how you want to do it. So I'm going to fold the bottom of my apron a little bit so I don't have as much going down through the bottom. Okay. All right. So I probably should have marked it. I can do that. I'll show you guys how. So if you fold your fabric in half, you then now have your seam, and I can mark it with my push pin where the middle is. I'm having a hard time with it like this. I don't know, you guys can't see it, it's too busy. That's okay. You get the gist. You get it. Make sure your fabric is all flattened out. And I'm doing the zigzag stitch down the middle of this big pocket to make it 2 individual pockets. Don't forget to back stitch when you first start. And take your needle marker out. You can mark it with a pin or a chalk as well too. Or you can iron it with a clothes iron to get that mark if you want. So I'm going to back stitch with my zigzag a few times right here at the end, probably like 1/4 of an inch, just to give it extra strength for when you're putting your hands in there, or whatever you put in your pockets. All right, so that's done. Now we get to cut out the ruffle, and I'll show you how to do some pleats. So we'll have to get it cut to a certain length. All right, so there you have it, the pocket. I'll turn you guys around and show you on the table so you can see it better. Okay, you're going spinning. I'm sorry. Okay. So there you have it. Here's the top pocket. Got a thread. So the top pocket, and then we have the 2 lower pocket, or the 1 big lower pocket, and you can see the zigzag stitching that I did. And so you've got 2 pockets. What do you guys think? I think that's cute. Super cute. Put these back so I don't step on them. That is not going to be fun if that happened. Okay, so now for the ruffle that I told you guys, make sure I get all the little threads off. Okay. So we decided that we were going to do the chicken fabric on the bottom. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to make strip that's however long or wide that you want to do it. And you're going to go longer than your fabric, probably 1.5 times the length of your fabric, if that makes sense. I'm going to fold the fabric, the chicken fabric here, I think. I've got some random places cut out. I'm trying to see where I have the most length so I don't have to cut a lot of cuts. I'm going to cut this off, which is perfectly fine because it's a square that can be used for a patchwork skirt or bag or anything like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Yeah, we're going to cut that piece off. And I already have some of my pin mark line that I did previously when we were cutting the large pocket out, but we're just going to cut this piece off. Okay. All right, so for the ruffle, I'm going to go the whole length of this piece. So I'm going to fold it in half so I don't have to cut the whole thing. I'm going to do it in a shorter strip. And I'm thinking that I want to do probably about, I'm going to leave a little bit for your seam. I'm going to go about 3.5 inches for that. So right about there. And I'm going to draw a pin line because I can't cut straight worth beans. All right. And I'm going to cut a second strip and attach them together so that I have enough length to make my ruffle. And I'm going to do, how I'm going to do my ruffles, I'm going to make pleats where you fold the fabric over and you sew over it. I'll try to explain it to you guys when I get this cut out here. So I'm going to do another one, make sure your fabric's straight as you can get it. It doesn't have to be too perfect. And so for the string, we'll talk about this quickly if this is getting too long for some of you and you have to go do other things. For the part that goes around your neck, I'll show you. Okay, I'm not advertising this company. For this part that goes around here and through the sides of the arms, you're going to measure, I've got all my little strings here. You're going to measure the whole total length of this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take it, a piece of fabric, the whole length of what it measures out to be, and you're going to fold it in half and then fold it back onto itself and stitch it together so that it's sturdier. But I'll do that later after we get the what am I trying to say? Ruffle on the bottom. Yeah, that. You can use lace too if you like lace. I've got lace. So on the edge of my fabric, I have that. I don't want it on there, so I'm going to cut that off. Check to see if we have any other ones. There's one right there. I cut 2 of those strips, so it'll be quite long. And then once I get towards the end of doing my ruffle, if I've got extra length, I can just trim it off. But that way I have enough. I'm going to turn you guys around. Sorry, don't get dizzy. All right. Here you are. yeah, words are hard. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I've got my 2, well, and I don't have all the technical words, right? So you're going to want to attach your 2 long strips, or however many strips you have together. You're going to attach them with what I call the pretty sides together. So you're just going to line those up and stitch those together. So that way when you open it up, your hem will be in the right direction. And you want to make sure that your patterns are both facing the same. Lost my scissors again. Scissors, where are you? I found them, no worries. No panic. Okay. And I'll show you. I just went ahead and used the zigzag stitch to stitch those 2 lengths together. Just fine. Where is it? Oh, yeah, see? Stitched together, but, you know, even though, oh, I have it upside down for you guys. Even though these 2 pieces don't match, because I'm going to be doing pleats, you won't even see it. So you won't even know. I mean, you can match it up if you want to, but that's, I don't think, necessary. Okay, I'm going to switch my stitch to a regular stitch. All right, and then I'm going to do the bottom edge of my apron. So you're going to face your strip that you're using, and you want to make sure that, so you're going to match the pretty sides together, right? Pretty sides together. This is the pretty side of my apron. This is the pretty side of my ruffle, and they're going to go like that. So when you stitch it along the bottom edge and you flip it over, it's going to be cute, right? But first we're going to put a hem on the very bottom edge of a ruffle. Okay. I don't know. This is funny. It's interesting to explain things to people that are on here. I wonder if I'm going to run out of, might have to put some more thread in my bobbin after this, or before I'm done. All right. Again, you can pin this down if you want to. And I'm just going the whole length because I'm having some extra just in case. And then I can trim it off and it's not going to be a waste because I can use it on another project, like another apron. I'm using my right hand to help guide it through the foot so I can kind of keep it from, moving about. How's your guys' weather? Oh, Gail's doing some decluttering. Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see your craft room all done. Me and Gail talked about it, and so we decided that our craft rooms were just as messy. Thank you, Nanny Tam. You have a wonderful Easter too. Thank you for supporting. So yeah, we decided that our craft rooms were equal in messiness. Anyways, we have a goal of once we get it done that we'll do a live together once it's all organized. I think I've got mine like a third of the way done. I've got like a couple of desks that I'm trying to move around. The room has like different alcoves for like window and stuff like that. So it makes it harder to like figure out even when you're like measuring the length and stuff of furniture. It's really difficult. And I had last month one of my big dogs passed away, and I had a big dog kennel in there, so I was able to move that out. And it took me a while to want to get it out, because I was sad. So now I have a little bit more space in there to move things around. So that's nice, I guess. We're almost to the end of this, and then we'll get it attached to the apron. It's easier to do the hem before you attach it to the apron because we're going to have pleats, and that'll make it a little more wonky, I suppose. Remember to backstitch when you get to the end. I think this is the shizness, that's for sure. Super cute. I said it. I said the shizness. Okay, so we got that done. Now we're gonna attach it. I'm dropping, I dropped a needle. I'll step on it for you guys. Okay, now remember on the bottom of our apron, I didn't hem it. Why hem it if I'm going to attach a ruffle, right? So we're going to make sure that I'm dropping more needles. Oops, that's okay. They're all in one place-ish. Okay, so when you're doing it, you're doing your fancier, prettier sides face down. So when you stitch it, it's the right way, in which I didn't have it. So you got to check that. So when I flip it, my chickens are going to be facing the right way. Okay. Okay, so when you're doing the ruffle, there's a few different ways that you can do it. The best way that I know how to do it is by making pleats. I'm sure there's probably easier ways than how I do it. I do things the hard way sometimes. So first I'm going to get it on, and I'm using my foot pedal as my guideline so that I keep my stitch generally right. As you go along, you're going to want to make sure that you match both ends up. And then what you'll do is you're going to fold it over. Can you see that? And you're going to still keep both your pieces, your apron fabric and your ruffle fabric, lined up on the ends right here over to the right here where my finger is. So when you fold it over, you're creating pleats. So I go a little bit and then I'll do a pleat going the opposite direction. So you just kind of do like a fourth of an inch and you just kind of fold it over. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm sure somebody else has a great video. But I just go a little bit and I'll do a pleat facing one way and then I'll switch it facing the other way so that there's some variation. I don't know. Maybe. No rhyme or reason. You can pre-pin all these down so that you don't have to worry about it. And sometimes you forget which direction you did a pleat. It's okay. Just keep going. So this is like a good skill to learn on how to, so basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to show you how without a pattern, you can take something that's existing that might be worn out or you just need another of, and use that as your pattern. You can take like, pants or shirts or anything like that, and you can, figure out how to make that. I know you've had some favorite, tops or shirts or even a coat that you liked and they got worn out to where you can't wear them anymore, but there's enough to it that you could probably maybe figure out how to make another one or repair it. So we're almost to the end of sewing on our ruffle. And then the last thing would be to make the piece that goes around to tie your apron on. A pleating foot is wonderful. My mom had all those fancy yeah, I know I saw, a seam foot that's, like, rolled that you connect on it, and it takes the fabric, and it's pretty cool, but that's a lot of extra. Okay, I finished at the end. I got extra, which I'm glad I wasn't short. If I was short, I would just stitch some more onto the end. Okay, so now I'm going to trim the end piece, and I'm going to want to hem the end piece so it's not just hanging out there all. So I've got extra. I'm going to trim hem the end piece so that it's not all jagged and unfinished. All right, all done with that. I'll show you guys. Get any of your loose threads trimmed off. Okay, you guys ready for the big reveal? Oh my gosh, I screwed up. It's horrible. No, just kidding. Had to. Can you guys see that? Look at that. What do you think? I'll give you the full view. I'll put it on the table so you guys can see better. Can you see it? So here's the top pocket. Here's the two, the one long pocket that I stitched. And there's my ruffle. What do you guys think? Is that super cute or what? Do you like it? It's cute. I really like it. It's fun. But so now do you see like the pleats if you haven't ever seen pleats? Okay, so what I have to do is measure how long this is. I'm not going to pull it out because then I have to put it back in. Well, that's okay. So I'll show you. I'll explain to you how this, it goes up around the neck and down both the pieces right here. I don't think I want to pull it out because that's a lot. So I've got threads all over. If I match up the ends of this, I can kind of get it to where these strings are really long anyway, so it's quite all right. If you want to, you can pull them out. It's up to you. So if I measure, so about 30 times 4, right? So that would be, yep. So like 120 inches for my thing that goes around. That's a lot, isn't it, huh? So what I can do, and what I think I'm going to do, is I'm going to go ahead and use this piece that I cut out here and just add on to it. I'm going to cut this one. And then what I'll do is I'm going to cut this down lengthwise. And then I'll have enough. Let's see how long this is before I cut it down the middle. In half, so I don't have to measure as long. This is called winging it. 25 times 2, 50. And then if I cut it down lengthwise, that would be 100. And I said 120. I think I'm just going to go with it. And if I need to add on at the end, I can. So I'm just kind of trying to line it up. It's not perfectly even, but I'm going to try to do it as even as I can. So what I'm going to do with this apron when I'm all done with it is I'm going to save it for my giveaway on April 30th for somebody. I think what's nice about doing these lives is, for the most part, a lot of times you can just work on other things while you're listening in. I hope. I hope that's what you guys can do. Okay, so I cut that down in the center, doubling my length. I'm going to stitch two of the ends together so I have a longer strip, and then I'll show you guys how we fold that in half. I think this is going a little longer than you guys probably expected. Probably a little longer than I expected. But you know what? We're here together. And it's a great day. It's a rainy day, actually, here. I'm in Northwest Oregon, and we've been getting rain for several days. So, oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can use any fabric, colors that you want, and that would be cute to use black, the black one. Okay, so I'm just matching up my pieces. I'm going to stitch them together so that I have a longer piece. I'm kind of back stitching the whole length of it just because it is a tie that gets yanked on, to get tightened and whatnot. Okay, I got to grab my scissors again. Okay, so I got the two lengths stitched together, and I'm going to set the apron over to the side. And what we're going to do to give the tie strength is you're going to fold the pieces to the center, and then you're going to fold it back onto itself. I hope that makes sense. So it's like this, and then you're going to fold that to the middle, the left side, and then the right side to the middle, and then you're going to fold it in half, right? And then I'm just using a normal basic tight stitch. And then you can pin all this, you can iron it to make it easier. And as I said, I'm kind of a rebel sewer, so I'm just going along and doing it. Like I said, I had no formal training. My grandma, when I was younger, would give us fabric and buttons and stuff. One time she had us sew a handbag by hand, but that's about it. And then when I was in high school, my parents had these friends. The wife, the lady, I don't know how to say that, she kind of took me under her wing and sometimes would teach me different things. Like she showed me how to make salsa. And she was having me sew, oh my gosh, I was so confused, a robe. And I just could not get it. So anyways, that robe never, ever happened. So I think if she would have done something simpler, maybe. When you're going over like seams, it can be a little bit harder to get over. And you just take it slow. Sometimes you have to use the wheel on your sewing machine to turn it to get it to go over that hump. But just, be careful because you don't want to break your needle. Susan, you have a lot of sewing background, don't you? I bet you have lots of tips and tricks, and you're probably I bet you all are watching me going, "Oh my gosh." Hey, you gotta give it to me. At least I'm doing stuff, right? Self-taught. Uh, and I don't know if doing that strip around the neck is if that's how the company or whoever did it is if that's the way that it was done. Um, I just assumed that it looked like that's how it was done. So, I'm showing you what I think, but it may be wrong. So, this is just ideas that you may want to use or not. You're at your own risk. I saw someone using a piece of plastic straw to fold fabric and run it through the machine. I may do that sometime and see. You should, because I'd like to see how it works. Because it would be nice to actually do this, what I'm doing, with some kind of a uh, foot or something to make it so it's easier just to feed through it. But I mean, honestly, it's not that bad, you know. So yeah, today I'm gonna run to the post office. I've got a few things to mail out. Um, I'm sending some yarn to a friend and some other things to a couple other people that I need to. I don't get in town very often, so I got to get to the post office. And I was thinking, because I never buy postage stamps, I'm going to buy some postage stamps because I want to start sending out like a little card or something just randomly to people just to say hi. And I don't know, I thought it would be a nice thing to do. So if you ever get a card in the mail, it's from me. So I had a really, I know this is, ooh, that's cool. So you probably learned a few things from your dad, whether you paid attention or not, right? I've done a few chairs. I just winged it. But back when I was starting to do things, like the internet wasn't, yeah, I'm a dinosaur. The internet wasn't out there as much. So when you found things, you would hope that maybe there was a book at the library or something, or, you know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess I know exactly. Everybody has their own way of doing things. And maybe, you know, when you're learning how to do things and you see a lot of people doing something a certain way, sometimes you might not get how they're doing it. Like it doesn't work for you to figure it out. So seeing like other ways of doing things can sometimes be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Now I get it. Because, you know, I'm also left handed. So that might play a part into that. Or it's just because I like doing things weird. So I was thinking about like Christmas time. Yeah, already, right? So I want to make some postcards with a bunch of pictures on the postcards of the farm and things that I do here. And I thought what would be super fun is if you sent me a Christmas card, I would send you a Christmas card back. So I think that would be a fun thing to do. So as I like would whoever wanted to get a Christmas card for me, if they send me a Christmas card, you know, I'll send one. So I thought that would be really cool to see. and do a little Christmas card exchange thing. So that's not for a little while though, right? Yeah, I might be annoying. I'm sure I'm annoying somebody. But you know what? I am not a seamstress. I am just Heather who likes to randomly do crafts and different things. Um, yeah, I don't know about the zippers. So my grandma used to be a seamstress for a long time, making curtains and all kinds of things. And then later, when she got older, she had like different people like hemmed her pants and stuff. She had a few um, military guys. You know, when they'd come into town, they would have her sew stuff. Sometimes they would even like bring her stuff and they were gone for like a long time before they'd come back because they were, you know, in the military. So she did that. And then grandma also owned a restaurant for a while with my uncle, but you would think that she would have showed me those skills too. No. So like all the canning, all the things like um the things that I do, I've self-taught. Um my mom did some sewing and stuff when I was younger, but again, never showed me how. So my mom wasn't much of a cook, and I didn't have anybody living by me wherever we lived doing canning and these things. So I don't know. I aspired to want to do these things, I guess. Like I was always interested in the history of the family and the old ways of how people did things. Like I feel like maybe it's a West Coast thing. Maybe more people East Coast have more family values and more um, of the skills and things like that they share. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I've never lived over there, so it just seems like that. Buttonholes. Yeah, I've the lady that I was telling you about that tried having me sew the robe when I was a teenager. She tried getting me to do buttonholes, and I was not getting it then, but I was a teenager. But I think now I probably could. You can walk in your craft room now, Gail. She made it out alive. Yay! Okay, we're almost to the end of the strip. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for this long thing. So next week, what I want to do is I went to a class to make fabric baskets out of fabric, and you can stitch them on your machine or by hand. And we're going to cut 1.5 inch width strips of fabric and braid them together. So if you want to cut a bunch of strips of fabric that are 1.5 inch wide by as however long you want to go, and I'll show you how to connect each piece. Like if you have to add new pieces on, I'll show you how to do that. That project will probably be a lot faster project. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start and we're just going to do a like a placemat using that technique, and I'll just run along with you the idea of how to turn it into a basket for like harvesting or whatever you want to use it for. So you can use any scrap fabric or anything you want. If you want to join me next Thursday to do that, that is pretty neat idea. I like it because you can make baskets for, organizing or, harvesting, all kinds of stuff. Good skill to have. We're at the end. And so on that old apron, I'll just call it the old apron, that I did not sew. On the ends of it, they had folded over the ends of the tie strip. Yeah, tie strip. They folded them over so you don't have, those little thingies sticking out. So fold it over a couple of times. It's going to be really thick. So carefully. Note to self. Again, I'm using a sewing needle that's meant for thicker fabrics like jeans and stuff like that. If you don't already have a thicker needle, they don't cost too much. Look up your sewing machine brand. If you don't know what it is, write all the numbers down and stuff. And when you go into, you can even go into Walmart or a craft store, fabric store, sewing store, bring your numbers for your sewing machine and tell them what you want. And there's numbers that'll match up to your sewing machine. Yeah, denim needles. But yeah, you'll want to do that. I just keep the same needle in because I don't do any like fine stuff. I don't know. Anyways, so I got the whole strip done. Yay! We're getting there. I bet you guys are excited. Oh, yeah, Gail, I can't wait. I'm going to be looking at all of it, and I'm going to be like, Gail, you need to do this. You need to do that. Okay, so on the arm parts, we're going to fold it over about 1/2 inch and stitch it. Just a regular stitch. Remember to stay with the curvature, which is going to be a little challenging. But we got this. We got this. So about 1/2 inch. And then I'm not going to take you guys along with stringing the thing through there. I'll just explain it. So make sure you back stitch a few times at the beginning of your hem or stitch. Whatever you want to call it. Okay. I still have some thread on my bobbin. Woohoo! It's actually not that difficult. When I was first doing it, it was difficult. So I'm just following along the hemline on the piece that I folded over and trying to keep about 1/2 inch to feed in my gathering cord thing. Yeah. Oh, now I'm getting a little bit corny. Yeah. So, do you guys have any big plans for today? I gotta go to the post office and to the grocery store, and I'm not excited about the grocery store part, but it'll be nice. I might look around and see if I can find anything interesting. I don't know. So when you get to the end of it, it is going to be a little bit angled, which is how it's supposed to be. Make sure you back stitch a few times right there at that end piece. Okay, so we got that side. I can put it through. You guys want to watch? You want to see, right? Tell me if you want to see me get it through. Like the whole, since you've been here the whole time, you want to see the whole thing, right? Yeah, thanks. Okay. Okay, well, I'll do that from now. Just don't stitch your string into your hem. Good idea, Susan. I love you. Hey, I have not done this. I am winging this with y'all on here, this pattern. Okay, so like Susan said, you can put it in there and already stitch it so you don't have to, get the bobby pins, and I use metal skewers, things like that, to push it through. Make sure you back stitch, fold it over, keeping about a 1/2 inch seam. We've got this. I'm doing it. Woo! Oh. Yeah, I'm getting nutty. I don't normally sit for this long at one time. I'm one of those people that if I watch a movie, which is very, very rare for me anymore today, I watch like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, and then I just need to stretch. Like I'm so used to, I think it was like when I had my preschool daycare and then I had foster kids and all that, and then the farm and all that. I just really got used to having to get up quickly and take care of things, and sitting wasn't happening very often. Hey, that worked out really well. Thank you for the tip, Susan. I love it. It's turning out really cute. And so whoever is in my giveaway is going to get a cute apron. So now Heather sewed too close to the top. And because I made this mistake, I did it all for you. I want to cut it back a little bit so that way I can fold over my thing. Okay. So we're just going to cut it back just about 1/4 inch. Not too much. Nothing to sweat. You got it. Self-talk. So what is something that you guys like to do? I'm having a hard time cutting it because I had it turned weird. What is something that you guys like to do to help de-stress you? Do you have something that you like to do? Okay. So I cut it right there. And then I'm going to fold it over 1/2 inch. Again, making sure that I'm not stitching my tie thing. Hey, it's working, and you guys know it's cute. Back stitch a few times right when you first start to help hold it in really well, because you're going to be tugging on these strings to adjust it to fit you when you wear it. Okay, so we're going to try to keep it at about 1/2 inch seam allowance with our thingy-majiggy tie. in there without stitching it. So don't get it stitched. Woo-hoo. And you have to also go with the curvature of the arm area. So a couple of things to pay attention to, but you can do it. You've got this. We're almost done, you guys. I'm so excited. I don't know how long we've been on here, but I know it's been over an hour because I feel it. What are you guys all eating for dinner tonight? Anything delicious? Backstitch a few times to lock that in. Guess what? Done. But I do have to, guess what? I didn't even sew it at all. You want to know why? Because I purposely ran out of bobbin thread just for your entertainment purposes only. You're doing good. Anyways, this was a learning opportunity so that we can all see how to put some thread on our bobbin. There's a garden club tour giveaway for the playlist on my channel, monthly giveaways through August. Make comments on each video in that playlist so you can be entered in for the drawing. How fun is that? So I have two if you have bobbins, make sure you get the right kind for your sewing machine. I do know that. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see. Anyways, so on top of my sewing machine, I have this little diagrams on how to put the thread on. If you have a new sewing machine, I'm sure it comes with a book if it doesn't have the drawings. But I think this is a newer sewing machine. I just didn't buy it newer. Come on. I'm trying to get it tightened. Be patient. We got it. We're almost to the end, people. So start off slowly when you first get it wound onto your bobbin. And I like to cut this little excess piece of string I'm holding so it doesn't get tangled up. It drives me nuts. And then you just keep your foot pedal going until it gets filled. Yeah, that's funny. I went and sewed that whole strip and my bobbin ran out. I knew I was going to do that before we were finished with this project. So it's a $25 Amazon gift card for the March drawing. Yay! What can you do with $25? Some stuff. I'm just filling it all the way up because I'll be sewing more. Okay. Full. So, you know how you saw me take this little plot? Oh, you didn't see. I'll let you see. Let me be back. I took this little plate off to get my bobbin out. If you unscrew these little screws right here and slide this plate off, you can then clean underneath. And like Susan said earlier, don't use one of those air thingies because the air can help rust your sewing machine. Make your sewing machine rust. Yeah, one of those. Anyways, so I'm rethreading, and I'm not going to take you guys through the painstaking me showing you how to thread it because we all have different sewing machines. So, probably. The hardest part for me is getting it in the eye of the beholder. So I was watching some of the earthquake activity going on last night. I stayed up way too late. So now I'm going to drop my needle down and it's going to pick up that bobbin thread and pull it up, maybe. It's not doing it. Why? I don't know why it's not doing it. Hold on. Maybe I didn't have it pulled over far enough. Like I said, we're not a professional here. We're learning all the time. Okay. Why is it not picking it up? Of course, I usually don't have a problem with this. Of course, when I'm doing a live, I'm going to have a problem with it, right? Come on. Come on up. Here we go. Got it. Usually it doesn't. Nope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bobbin out, right? And we're going to put it back down. There's a little drawing on down there that shows you like which way you're supposed to put it in. So pay attention to that, which I did. But is it getting it? Come on. There we go. See? All this is a great plan just to show y'all that you can do it and ways that you can. I use my scissors to get it out, the bobbin thread, so you'll have your top thread and your bobbin thread. Bam, done, got it. Okay, so back to sewing what I already thought I sewed. At least I didn't. Whatever. Okay, here we go. We have thread on the bottom and the top. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning, keeping your tie out of the way of the stitch because if it gets locked down, you won't be able to adjust it. Hey, I used the right word. My thickness is approximately an inch around, and I'm following the curvature because this is the arm area. This is reminding me of like peppermint candy or something, this apron. So I need a peppermint candy or something. We almost have it. We almost have it. Woo-hoo! Celebration time. Come on. We're gonna celebrate. Yeah, I'm not. Backstitch a few times on the end because you play tug of war there. Okay, get these strings cut off. Go to the beginning of where I first started stitching this little part here. We're going to have a big reveal in a second, you guys. Thank you all so much for being here with me. I do got to feed my thing. So let's chat for a minute while I feed this into the other side because I didn't sew it like Susan told us. Oh yeah, I'd like to get some labels made for adding to things that I make. Like for clothing and bags and things like that. That's what I'd like. So I'm gonna grab something real quick. Hold on. Keep chatting. So it's probably wrong, but I'm using a shish kebab skewer to feed the other side of my string down into the other side there. Yeah, fabric labels. I need a label maker also. Oh yeah. I want to make stickers. I know that you can make stickers on your Cricut. I've not tried that. I have a Cricut, but I feel like with the amount I mean, if I needed only a few stickers, doing that might be fun, but I feel like the amount of stickers that I want and need would be too many, that it would probably be better to order them. I thought about looking at some local companies by me, but I don't know if they're going to be able to give me um, a good discount because of being a smaller company, you know? Gwen, do you do much sewing? Are you a sewer? I do want to get I have that treadle sewing machine. Um, One day I'd love to get that set up. I just got to get my craft room organized and start playing around on that. I did watch a lot of videos on how to clean it and get it oiled up and stuff like that. So I've got all that. And um, I just thought it would be kind of fun to, let's see. Gwen says, I can't wait to see this apron finished because you totally lost me on this strap. It's strapped. I'm trying to feed it through. I'll show you guys when I'm done. I just didn't want you guys to see me struggling. I mean, you can kind of. Now, see if I would have done it. Now, see, I learned a new thing today. I learned about that. But like, I've never made an apron like this where you have the string tie. Look at that, it's coming through. You know, it would be stupid if I pulled out the end that I didn't want to pull out. I'm not doing that. Don't worry. I've got it almost out. The end piece of it's getting all cut up. See, this is why you do it Susan's way. It's not Susan's way, it's just a way. Okay. We're almost ready for the reveal. Almost. Hold on. You guys are being so patient, kind, and loving. Okay. Caught up on a string here. Okay. I'll turn you around. Ready? Okay. So we've got this up at the neck, which you can adjust, and then I'll crinkle it for you guys. Look at that. And then you've got the ties coming out here that you can adjust and tie in the back. So you can make it as high or as tight up on your neck. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, this part right here is up on the neck. And when you pull on the sides to tie around your back, it tightens up here if you need it tighter here or up on your neck. And then these just tie on your back. What do you think? Oh, did you see the neck? It keeps flipping over. It goes out right here, goes over your neck, or you can have it coming out here. So it's your choice if you want it to come here or right here. See that? Pockets. And then my little ruffle on the bottom. What do you guys think? Did I do it? Put it on? Ew. Okay. Let me turn you around. So you can see the woohoo. What do you think? Yeah? Pretty cute, huh? I like it. It's cute. But I'm sweating. This is a lot of work. Just kidding. But yeah, that's pretty cute. So I'm going to end up giving this away in my April 30th giveaway. And I just kind of thought I would do a few projects while I do my lives, showing you guys that I made it and how I made it, hopefully to inspire some people. And then you can see something that was made and maybe you'll be the lucky person. So thank you guys so much for being here with me forever. So next week, we're going to be doing some placemats, which I'll show you how you can turn them into fabric baskets. So we're going to cut 1.5 inch wide strips of fabric. And then what we're going to do is we're going to braid them together. And when you run out of fabric, I'll show you, it's just easy couple folds to keep braiding. So we're going to do a placemat because it won't take as long, but I'll walk you through how to build the sides up to make it a basket. So you just need strips of fabric that are cut into 1.5 inch wide, and the lengths don't have to be, you don't have to have miles. You can just have lots of strips cut that are 1.5 inch wide. So what is that? You should do canner quilts for the counter. Oh, yeah, we could do that too. And so like the placemat you can use on your table, or you can make a set of them. But I'm just doing the placemat because it'll be quicker. But I'll show you how to turn it into a basket, and we can just use a needle and thread. So you'll want fabric strips cut 1.5 inch wide. This is long, lots of them. So we're going to be braiding them together. What else will you need for the project? A thicker sewing needle and thread. That's it. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe, Susan, that can be something we can do together. Is it long? It's probably not long. They're not big. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. Please share this video out. I know it was a little bit longer. I hope you had an amazing time. And just thank you so much for being here with me. And have a beautiful day. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it. I'll have to look that up. Definitely a good idea. Hmm. So yeah, I will see you guys next week at the same time, same place. Yeah, that would be fun. I'll send me some stuff and I'll look at them and I'm sure I can wing it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day and I'll see you around the YouTube streets.